What's up, Diablo 4 players? So I'm going to give you guys everything that you need to know about the brand new season of Infernal Chaos that just got revealed on a live stream. So basically they did a live stream and I'm here to summarize all of the important stuff that you want to know. They did show off some of the new seasonal content in terms of like the skins here, so I'm just going to show you guys this really cool looking skins over here for sure. You actually do get wings as well. There's a brand new season pet and this is all acquired for free. There's a brand new boss. I've already got gameplay of season 10 rolling in the background, guys, and the Tornado Necromancer is going to still exist. There's actually some nerfs and some buffs, and I want to go over kind of like the highlights and the most important parts of this. So we're going to have these Chaos Rifts. You guys are actually seeing the new gameplay in the background with the brand new Mega Bartuk boss that can spawn in as far as the Infernal Hordes mode. There's also these brand new wings that you guys can get, and you can see they do look freaking sweet. But there's a couple other really good quality of life and other changes in the game that I want to go ahead and go over. So for starters, one of the really good things that is being added is that you can see which one of your nightmare dungeons will give you that additional grim favors. So it's just marked. You guys can see over here has a little gate with a little red icon behind it. So basically do those ones and you will get basically free grim favors, because usually you'd have to look at it on the map, and now it's just going to be more streamlined. I think this is a good change. Awesome. Thank you, Blizzard. There's also going to be brand new Chaos Armors. Now, I'm not going to make this video about like what is a Chaos Armor, because I kind of expect you guys to already know this as this was revealed a while ago. But in case you guys do want to actually watch that, I will link a video, or just look up this video that I have. It explains everything. It goes into detail. It also goes over the meta and which ones are the actual good ones. But they're basically adding other brand new Chaos Armors. Pretty much what it comes down to is you can equip items in like incorrect slots, and that's going to be awesome. But they're adding even more Chaos Armors to this, and by the way, this will be deleted at the end of the season, at least as of right now. You do not get to keep your Chaos Armors, but basically you have Remolani's Magnum Opus, so this is a pretty decent one for Barb. If you're playing the Druid, you can run the Dolmen Stone. Those are the boulders that spin around, and then the Mutilator plate for Lance. But I'm gonna tell you guys, don't even lock in with that. This build for the Necromancer is the absolute premium build where you get to literally one-shot everything before it even comes out. You can see the gameplay here, and it's not really being changed. Like, I kind of expected this to get nerfed by like the amount, but it looks like it's going through, boys. So there's also some additional things for the Rogue here. There's actually a lot of good Rogue buffs here. Scoundrel's Kiss is getting a change in the Chaos Armor department, so that's going to be good. Rapid Fire, I believe it did like a 116. It was actually one of the top tier builds for the Rogue, and now it's going to be basically the top tier build. As far as we are aware of, Rapid Fire will be kind of the build to play, and they're actually getting a pretty good amount of buffs, but I'm going to keep it real. As much as I like Rogue, Rogue is still not looking that great. When you compare it to the Tornado Necromancer that can blow up literally the entire screen with permanent AoE, yeah, it's not even a competition. And if you got the Fireball, Sorc, we'll talk about the best class in a second. But I just don't want you guys to get baited to go into Rogue because of these buffs. This is coming from someone that likes the Rogue class. And also with the Sorc, we're getting Esu's Heirloom. This is basically for crit. But you don't really need it, trust me. The Sorc is already godly enough. But Spearboard, you get Sunbird Scorch. Maybe you can make some like RF kind of AoE builds. That will be another option for you. But I don't know if this is going to be super meta, as the Evade build is probably going to be the fan favorite, and Quill Volley, that's still one of the top tier things to play. Now, they did upload this blog post, and I'm not going to go over every single detail, but I will highlight some of the more important ones after I go over kind of like my quick notes. There's also, again, a pet that you can earn, and it's pretty much the same as far as like the season journey that you guys have been familiar with. You finish everything, you get some, ashes, you get a spark at the very end, the good stuff. But there is a really cool looking pet also, and there is a free cosmetic if you guys tune into the live stream when it does launch on September 23rd. That is the important date if you guys are wondering. When does it actually come out? September 23rd, and I believe it's 10 a.m. I don't think it's posted exactly right here, but that should be about the time that it starts, which is normal for the seasons of Diablo. Again, September 23rd is the date of where it starts, and if you do tune in and if you watch, you will get this free weapon. Now, it doesn't give you some legendary powers, it's just a cosmetic, just as a heads up. Now, other notes here. So first off, the thing that I think a lot of people want to know, like, bro, tell me what the best class is. If I was to say which is the best class for the Infernal Hordes, this Necromancer, there's nothing that even comes close. However, it is a little bit more squishy compared to the #1 recommendation, which is Sorc. Sorc is 100% the best class if we're looking at all the aspects. We're talking about tankiness, and they somehow decided to buff Mana Shield by even like more numbers, which is crazy. And the reason why Sorc is really good, guys, is because you can basically play any skill in the game and you're going to be able to dominate as long as it's considered a core skill. And I think in like season like 3 or 4 they made some sort of update where all the masteries are also core skills, and depending on the ranks of your core skills you get a damage multiplier which is uncapped. Everything else in the game for the most part they've been putting caps on, and the brand new notes came out and I was like, I expected this to have some like 10, 20, like, you know, some sort of limit. Nope, they're just, Sorc gets to go through, but Druid has a cap. You got a lot of these caps on a lot of these damage, but Sorc is basically confirmed to be the best class by a long shot. So if you're wondering what class do I want to lock in, the answer is Sorc, and you can play whatever you want and do pit 100 with almost anything. I'm not even kidding when I say almost anything. Again, it pretty much just comes down to any core skill or mastery, because they're now core skills, and I'll explain that in a second. But there is also some other buffs that I want to go over, just in case any of you guys are like, I don't like the Sorc, I like Rogue, it's my favorite. There's some buffs to pen shot. They said the base damage and the unique got increased with Eagle Horn. There is another big Rogue buff, and they just decided to give Rogue 150x damage. I mean, that's like 3 or 4 aspects. It's crazy, which is a good thing, because Rogue, I told Blizzard that they really needed to buff the Rogue, and I'm so glad. Thank you, Blizzard, for listening. But I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. The Rogue, while it still is pretty good, like comparing to the Fireball, like the Fireball literally blows up the entire this is the brand new content, it blows up the entire screen. You really don't get that with Rogue. Pen shot is pretty good, but with the new reload mechanic that they're adding, if you want to push your damage up even higher, it can be fun, which is more oriented around pushing. But in terms of clear speed, as fast as Flurry is for the Rogue, and it still might be one of the faster builds, that and Dance of Knives is not that bad. But can you compare it to Fireball? Hell no. So again, I just don't want you guys to get baited, because I usually upload Rogue content on my channel, and I'm not even recommending it. Now, there are some nerfs with specifically the Marred Guard, which is for defenses, as well as Crazy Brew, which gives you crazy attack speed. These both got nerfed. They're still playable, and I'll go over the numbers in a second, but just so you guys kind of know, if you were watching any build guides that we're using these, they are getting nerfed. And then Chaos Unleashed got some crazy multiplier. It used to be like 30, and now it's 200x. So getting like the Chaos powers, like they call them Chaos perks, there's ones where you can get this brand new Chaos damage. Sometimes you just slap in a high enough number and things start to work, but I don't think this is going to be making it like the ultimate S tier build of just Chaos Unleash, like that little power, as far as it being like the #1 spot for a build. If it does become it, and it's like based off of lucky hit chance, it's pretty hard to beat, honestly. Pen shot with like Azarath, if you guys remember, it has a very high lucky hit chance. Also Quill Volley. So keep on the lookout for certain things, because certain things don't have multipliers that work. Sometimes things can't overpower properly. It really comes down to a lot of things with Diablo being something that where, I'll be honest, there's some sort of unintended interaction that becomes the S tier build. So don't sign this off as like trash, because it has some potential. Again, you start slapping up high enough numbers, things become good. Overabundance, this is a perk that the Druid had, and I want to mention there's a mega nerf on it. It now has 3 stacks. Before it was uncapped. Sorc is uncapped, Druid is capped. So basically, it's not going to be as powerful, as I did upload a tier list, and I did put Druid, at least on the PTR, as the best class, because it was. There's no build that could do 150, and still, as of right now, even with this update, guys, no build, at least as of right now, is looking like it's going to slap a 150. The only build that did it in the PTR was the Druid, and it had like 2 different bugs. One of them was infinite damage, which the Raven's Druid build, guys, is still going to be top tier, but it's not going to be as good as, you know, having overabundance. I even had gameplay, max difficulty, we're just one-shotting everything, but the Tornado Necromancer is literally the same exact playstyle of the Druid, but the Druid is super far behind, because the Tornado Necromancer's radius, like how big it is just like triple the size, and you get way more tornadoes. Necromancer is just a better Raven's Druid, if you get what I'm saying, because it creates a little tornado that spins around. And then there is a pretty big buff for the Rogue, which is Innervated Strikes, and I'll kind of talk more about this, but basically, you just get 150x damage on the Rogue, which is really good. And then there's also another thing where, like with the grenades, if you want to play the stun grenades, there is maybe some sort of build here, but again, you get 100x damage here, another 150x on your whole character. Maybe stun grenades could be good for push, but I'll tell you for sure, stun grenades, again, it's not going to be necessarily as good as the Infernal Hordes mode, and I know I'm talking about this mode in particular, and the reason why is you have to farm the Chaos Uniques, and this is pretty much the premium spot for them. And then also, they're giving us less Chaos Waves, and they're going to be balancing different choices like the Soul Spires. So, as far as it goes, that's a good thing because that makes the balance choices a little bit more consistent. But pretty much you get the Goblin one, and you're going to be blasting through. So, here's some of the numbers if you guys want to see some of the numbers. Again, if you guys want to see the boss, well, we'll eventually get to the boss, and I'm going to one-tap him. The new boss, as far as it goes, there is a pretty big update in this season, just like a generic update that I want to go over. All the bosses, you can basically one-shot them. And I say basically because you have to have DPS. You can't just be like, oh, I just got the Torment 4, I'm going to one-shot Andariel. You could still one-shot Andariel, but you have to have the DPS, which means just play Sorc and it'll be easy, man. Or just play a meta build. Honestly, I want to say every single class could probably do it, but Sorc is just, again, I know I keep on saying how good Sorc is, and you guys know I'm not like a Sorc-only channel. I play all the classes here, mostly Rogue, and I'm not even recommending Rogue because it's just too slow when you compare how good Sorc can possibly be with what it has. So again, you have this Bartok boss. We're going to eventually go and one-tap him, and then this is where you get your Chaos Uniques here. Now, they did mention something over here where Bartok's invulnerability phase can only incur after 10 seconds of the fight has elapsed. So I guess as long as you can one-shot the boss, you're good. And again, I've already showed you guys gameplay of all the classes can pretty much one-shot. As long as you copy a good build guide and have the proper gear, you will be able to one-shot. And another thing that is actually really good in Season 10 is a lot of builds, you may not really even need the Mythics, and that is because you can get more damage with specifically the brand new Chaos Uniques. So, again, you can throw in Banishort's Talisman, which is an amulet. You can put it in the gloves, the helmet. You cannot run 5 copies of it. And again, all of these get deleted, by the way. Okay, so your helmet, your chest piece, your gloves, your pants, and your boots, all of this will get deleted at the end of the season. Okay, so just keeping your guys' expectations realistic. If you're like, I want to play on Eternal and I want to get the Chaos Armors, sorry, this is a seasonal only thing. Okay, that's important. But yeah, like I said, check out that video if you want to learn how these works, because I kind of just would rather save you guys the time because I already have that video out. But again, they did add some of the other ones, which is kind of highlighted in blue, which is some of the things that I've already mentioned. But again, I want to show you guys some of the numbers here, as this is kind of important. But as far as other Chaos perks, some of them did get some buffs and some nerfs, and I want to go over the ones that I mentioned. So I already told you guys Marred Guard is getting a nerf. They're cutting it in half over here, so that is a pretty big nerf. It used to give you 40x armor, and now it is 20x. So kind of a nerf over there. But again, there's no jewels, by the way, like seasonal jewels, so don't worry too much about that, because most people, they throw in the skulls, because armor capping in Diablo is an absolute must. Resistances, they're straight up a whatever. Okay, so and as far as that goes, there's the Crazy Brew. So this one is going to last a little bit longer, but they doubled the cooldown, or actually 50% increased cooldown on it. And so it also says cooldown is now affected by cooldown reduction. So there is a nerf, but if you can get this up high enough, especially with the Sorc, this is again what I'm telling you guys, Sorc is gonna be the premium class. You could just Crazy Brew the whole time if you can get your CDR, assuming that the CDR works the same way. If you can last for 5 seconds and you get 75, that should be pretty much mostly 100% uptime depending on your rolls of gear. So yeah, Crazy Brew is going to be even better on the Sorc. Now the thing with Sorc is you don't even really need to pop your potions. Now it does also give you 100% resource cost reduction, but it's mainly the 80% attack speed and 80% movement speed that's going to be really nice. And the reason why is in the new season, every single build will want to run these Chaos Uniques, and that's going to clog up your boot slot with more damage. Therefore, your build has 0 movement speed, which kind of feels bad. I'm going to keep it real. But the Sorc, if you get enough cooldown, you can have infinite teleport. And then now they're like, well, if you just get cooldown reduction, which you already get on Sorc, now you get to go even faster, so they don't really have a downside. The other classes that can heavily gain movement speed are actually the Necromancer, and there's a couple rogue ones, but I'm going to tell you guys, you want to go fast in Diablo, right? Diablo's not kind of like this slow PoE 2 the first hour, you gotta dodge roll every 5 seconds, slow gameplay. Diablo is usually favored when you get to go as fast as possible, blasting, blowing up the screen. Again, that's why I'm saying Sorc is going to be the ultimate class. And as far as the unique goes, this is where, again, they went from 30 plus to 200x. So not only is it going from a plus to an x, but it is like a big number. So this could be used for any of the classes, and I hope that this will be a build that I can show you guys. I'm probably going to lock in the Sorc. if you're looking for some of the good lucky hit chances, honestly, Fireball, since it bounces multiple times, is going to be absolutely key, because, again, it has really high lucky hit, and it can activate and overlap, and you can get so much more. So I would say be on the lookout for some builds with this. And then a Brawn over Brains, this thing is probably still not going to be something super insane, because it gives you some extra overpower, but it makes it so your maximum res is reduced. But it did get a numerical change over here. But things that actually matter over here, Defeating Chorus over here got a buff over here by 10%. It's like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. There's like an AFK Barbarian build. So we'll definitely check out that one. Shout out to Rob. He has like the content for that one. If you guys want to go full AFK, you can do that with Barbarian. You still have to obviously click on your rewards and open up chests, but you can basically go AFK with Barbarian, which is a good and bad thing. Just open up your Paragon board and your game will not kick you out of the game if you want to do that. But they changed the single-minded fury. This means you can only have one weapon on Barb. Why would you ever do that? I don't know, but it's still what I would consider probably pretty bad. I mean, you get 250x damage, but you lose out on so much stats. It's basically is no go. Druid over here, this is what I was talking about by a mega nerf. So how it used to work is every 50 spirit that you spend would give you more damage. Now they did increase the damage of this, but the bonus stacks up to 3 times, whereas with, again, Sorc, and the reason why I'm saying that is because Sorc has no cap. You just keep on getting core skill points and it goes crazy. And then also, this one over here is for like poison, and I actually did run it in the build, so that's cool. It just makes it so it deals critical strike that deals increased damage. Not that this really matters. You just activate a poison so the enemy is affected by poison, and it also gives you that guaranteed crit, which is really good. But then now it actually gives you another bonus, so hey, that's cool if you want to maybe make a poison druid. And then as far as the unique, this is actually getting a buff over here. So instead of going 60, it's now 80x damage. But I would say it doesn't really matter. As far as Necromancer goes, I already showed you guys. Just play the Tornado one. All these buffs is forgettable, to be honest. You know, I'm going to save you the time. All right, the Rogue. The Rogue actually, again, gets a really cool thing. And I'm so glad. Thank you so much, Blizzard, for listening to my feedback. I'm sure all the other Rogues, shout out to Dioxide. Yugioh plays Rogue a lot. There's so many other really good Rogue players. Mippy. So this is a really, really, really big change, and we all kind of complained about it. Let's be real here. So it says your core skills deal just 150x damage. That's all. That's all. You don't need to read anything else. They had this thing where you'd have to like make it so you would no longer passively generate energy, and that part is kind of something that you're going to have to get over. Now, there are other builds like Flurry, which will then go into your HP, and if you run like Lucky Hit Chance or other ways to generate some resource so it's not always draining your HP, or you can run like something called Undying to regenerate HP on hit, so you get like life on hit basically, or it's a % of your HP. You can get around that with Flurry, so I would probably say Flurry has the easiest like workaround with this, but there's a lot of ultimates when you cast, you're just going to get max energy. So there will be kind of a hurdle, but basically all it comes down to 150x damage. That's all you really need to read with that, and it's already good. But there is, again, a pretty big downside with this. I wish this number was actually increased further, because it does require you to kind of either play something that's gimmicky like Flurry, which drains your HP, or you have to push another button, maybe like you know, Shadow Clones or something, and then when you activate, it's called Aftermath, which gives you a bunch of resources back. So again, that will be good. And then if you're playing something like I don't know, Death Trap, which is an ultimate already, they did nerf some of the tempers though with some of the resources, but you can get some resource gen and hopefully kind of equalize it and make it not too big of a deal. Anyways, but just 150x damage is good. Again, with the stun grenades, it does basically double damage, and when you drop stun grenades, you drop 1 more. Now, I'm not sure about the wording on this. Does it mean every single stun grenade also drops an additional 1, or is that like, if I drop 10 stun grenades, I get now 11? So that's a kind of an important thing, because it says when you drop stun grenades, you drop 1 more. Assuming that it's only 1 more, it's like whatever. I wouldn't really look into it. I did briefly look into it when it was on the PTR, and I was like, dude, this is so underwhelming. I'm not going for it, because the Barb has 2 weapons. If you really want to invest into the Chaotic Burst, because you just want generic multipliers, yeah, I'd lock in with this one. As far as it goes on Barbarian for the chaos damage, right? If you want to make a build off of that, because it did get a pretty good buff, just play Barb because it has more weapon slots. More weapon slots equals more core stats, equals more two-handed X damage on whatever condition, right? And then as far as that goes, again, with Sorc over here, they're making it so they're changing the explosive combinations. So casting a basic skill increases your damage. It used to be the damage of your next core skill, but now it's just casting a basic skill increases your damage. So if you wanted to play, let's say, Hydra, right? you could just get this stacked up three times. You get 60x damage, because with Hydra, you don't spam Hydras, right? You spam a Hydra, kind of wait for your mana to go back up, and you spam Hydra. So Hydra's actually getting even more buffs. Again, that's why I'm telling you guys, Sorc is the ultimate class. And Hydra was already good, guys. You're just getting free 60x damage, because you just slap on more fire skills for more of the passive, right? And this, okay, the most important thing, guys, is advanced techniques did not get nerfs, okay? So every single point in core skill equals, well, more damage, and there is no cap. I expected a cap or a nerf on this. This is the main thing that makes Sorc just uber godly S tier, and it just dunks on everything. It's this. And then even more buffs over here. So there's no change here. The buff with Mana Shield was wild. Okay, everyone, I mean, you guys go back to my video, everyone was saying, it's gonna get nerfed, it's gonna get nerfed. I told you guys sometimes things go unchecked, but this time they decided let's go buff it, which I think is crazy. So how it works is basically you are immortal. I already have like a build of this, which is like the immortal Sorc over here, and I want to show you guys just a quick little gameplay. And again, this build is already ready for you guys. You don't even need to really, I don't even need to update this, because look at my HP over here. Let's see if we can make it a higher resolution so you guys can see. I have 5 HP, okay? 5 HP. This is the brand new Andariel, which you can one-shot, but I'm showing you guys that you can become immortal. It's getting buffed. So again, you can fully tank it. I'm going to show you guys, you can take her big Hadouken. So when she throws down the change and she does like her Hadouken move, I had to reduce her HP by a little bit. But this is why Sorc is going to be the ultimate godly super Omega S tier, Super Saiyan class. So you can see I'm just literally standing in here. We're going to get hit by the Hadouken. And again, remember, I have 5 HP, and boom, the Mana Shield it didn't even phase me. Look at my mana. It's not even gone at all. So this is why I'm telling you guys, Sorc is like confirmed the best class in the entire game. And again, this build is uploaded. You could basically play anything with the Sorc and you're going to be super good. So what's the buff? Well, you used to have like a 4-second pause before your mana regen would kick in. Now, the way I played it, if you just copy my build, you're going to have infinite mana anyways, and infinite mana means that you don't even have to wait for this. But then they decided, hey, let's just buff this, which, I mean, again, I fully expected it to get nerfed in some way. I even said you could divide it by 10 and it would still be the most broken class, and they still just decided, instead of nerfing, let's just buff it. So that's why, again, I know I'm hyping up the Sorc, but it's just the reality of the game, all right? So Sorc is eating good. Now, Spiritborn did get a change over here with this unique, which makes it so your ultimate skills benefit from all of their upgrades, so that's kind of cool if you want to get that. But again, I'm showing you guys the evade build. I think this build will be good, but I'm going to tell you guys straight up, it's not easy to gear. You need so much cooldown reduction to make the evade build, and you can't just like straight up play evade build. And this would be the build that I would say is probably going to be one of the more dominating builds for the Infernal Hordes, as this is, again, where you get the new Chaos Uniques. And then they mentioned all of the new Chaos Uniques, but we've already went over this. These are not new, it's just like these are coming out in the season. And then there was something with Gorilla that did not work in the PTR, so kind of keep that in the back of your mind if you are playing a Spiritborn player, because how it would work, it was bugged. I have the bugged gameplay where it actually gives the enemies immortality, which is not good, because it gives them shields when you activate your skill, which you did not want. So it was kind of bugged. So the Gorilla builds never really got fully tested, and that was something that was supposed to be buffed in the new season. But again, keep on the lookout for that. But again, when you're comparing like any Gorilla build to just being able to just spin around, evade the whole time, yeah, this build is going to be much faster overall. But we did, in this build, run the thing that gives us less HP, and then we also ran the thing that gives us extra like armor. So that is taking a nerf, but again, I'm telling you guys right now to play the Sorc. Now, if you guys are wondering what are the best classes, I do have a best class video up. It's pretty accurate right now. I will also update it with the most recent updates, because I did get some new info, but it's like 90% the same. The difference is that I would just move Sorc to the uber S tier. And as far as pit pushing goes, there are a lot of other builds that can still do like pit 100, but if you're comparing it to the Fireball Sorc that's immortal, that can do the Infernal Hordes, it has very easy gearing process also, because the Gloves Illuminator and the Staff of Endless Rage, those are like 2 key items that you need, and it's like so easy to farm those that you're going to be blasting through content. Like, as far as like how much gear do you need to get online, the Fireball Sorc is going to be key. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for like the patch notes and kind of the summary and what I would recommend you guys to play. And check out the pin. I'll link a bunch of relevant videos, and again, the build guides are already ready for you, and they're going to be even stronger, except for the Raven Druid build, because that's getting It has a cap nerf, but it's still going to be one of the better druid builds. Just, again, don't expect to do a pit 150. Anyways, Diablo gamers, let me know what class are you starting in September 23rd for the brand new Season 10. And Season 10 is looking pretty dang good. I'm going to be real with you guys. You guys already know. This whole video was basically just telling you guys how good the Sorc is. And so I'm going to be starting out with the Sorceress. But, hey, tell me what class you plan to play down below. But that's going to wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like, sub if you're new, and I'll catch you gamers in the next video. Peace out.